nice background in here.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, sorry.
Yo, what up? It's your boy C's from thecesarlife.com, and I got my homegirl,
Angela from Sweat Remix. What up?
What up? So, what we're doing today actually is super exciting. We're going to be recording my very first podcast.
Woo!
Right?
Congrats! Yeah!
Right? Yay! Totally spontaneous, by the way. Like, this is I just pulled up, and we were working on another project, and I brought to her Spire Studios. Let's see. Technology.
Just all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of technology. This is Spire Studio, and originally it's like a on-the-go digital recording studio. I want to do a full comprehensive review on it. I'm just going to basically, just go. Just talk. We're just going to talk some shite. Angie's just going to give us some insight on her journey from the corporate world to
entrepreneurship
and
to
fitness.
Cool.
All right. So
is this bad boy on?
No, it doesn't seem on. Wait, hold on. Did it
die?
Did it die? It shouldn't.
It's plugged the fuck in.
I know.
Wait, is it still?
All right, there we go. It's plugged in. So wait, take a look at it. This is it.
Does all kinds of fun things. Look at it.
Yeah, all sorts of cool stuff.
Okay.
Now there we go. We got the headphones on. Ooh. All right. Okay, so I'm going to hit record. I'm going to do another intro. This is just going to be like a filler intro because I don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah.
How's it going to
go? Hold on. Let me hit record and then we're going to see how it goes. So basically, the goal of this podcast, right, is to share with you insights and perspectives on my journey in entrepreneurship and personal development. These things that I'm super passionate about. So the podcast is just going to be basically just like this, me pulling up to homies and we just shooting the shit, and
it's almost like an ambush. Let's call it what it is. It's like a podcast ambush.
Yeah,
it's like, and you're going to record it? I didn't even
nothing fancy. You know what I mean? It's not going to be fancy, like no fancy intros or outros. Maybe if I get like blowed up and you know what I mean, like feeling a little bougie, I'll hire, what's that guy with the famous voice? Like that does all the James Earl Jones or something.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. There you go. Morgan Freeman will do the intros or whatnot. So,
I feel like that you just leveled up. If like Morgan Freeman is going to be
doing the
welcome
intro
to the podcast.
Welcome to the Cesar Life.
Yeah, totally.
Get it done. All right. So, let me see. Enough sound check. Okay.
Check.
So
Angie on the mic.
It's connected. So I'm just going to hit new.
And we are?
All right, so this is the application that it comes with. All right, all I got to do is hit record, and we are live. All right, I'm super nervous.
I don't really, why? I don't even know what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, what's there to be nervous about?
This is an ambush.
Yeah, this is an ambush. It's just us shooting the shit.
Like, no prep. I have no idea what we're going to talk about. So
we're just going to
be completely off the cuff.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it to as long as this camera and everything just
as long as the battery life is. Let's do it.
All right. So do the ceremonial press of that record button.
Okay.
And we're live. Yo, what up? It's your boy C's from thecesarlife.com, and welcome to the podcast, the Cesar Life Podcast. Now, I was mentioning to my homegirl Angie, who's a guest on the very first show, that
I
know, nothing planned. We're just taking massive action on our dreams. So this is basically the goal of this podcast, is to inspire you to take action on your dreams and live the life that you truly desire. I'll do this by sharing with you my insights and perspectives in entrepreneurship and personal development. All right, this is my journey, and I seek to collaborate with you, the listener, to help us build a community, build opportunity, and share our thoughts, concerns, and
Cool.
That's just the intro that I got from the top of my head. Anyways, like Angie mentioned, I did ambush her. And basically, she has a unique background. So what better way just to kick off this series than to have her share her story.
All right. Well, thanks. Thanks for doing this. This is so fun. Like, totally not what I expected today, but it's all good. I love tangents. I think spontaneity and tangents keeps life interesting and keeps it fresh, and everything is in your life and happening at that time for a reason. So this is no accident, right?
Yeah, totally.
So I'm Angela Gentile. I am the owner and founder, creator, and all things awesome of Sweat Remix. And yeah, that kind of was a journey of maybe 5 years to get to this point.
5 years.
5 years.
Right.
Yeah, like I think that there's a misconception of like what you see projected outward just happened like last week. Like I went and had a photo shoot and I put together some pictures and then edited a video. And then I'm like, oh, I have this thing. I have this service, this product, this brand. Mm-hmm. No, it didn't really. It didn't just like show up like that.
I know. It's just like the progressive realization of a worthy ideal.
When you run with it.
Yeah.
When you take the time to like sit with that calling and you're answering it and you're constantly answering it rather than like, well, I tried it once and I like half-assed it. And I guess it didn't work, so I'll just put it away. But there's always like the bug in your ear. There's always that like tight, like tension in your heart and in your gut of like, I gotta go chase something. Mm-hmm. So you just constantly have to keep answering that calling. But yeah, it started like 5 years ago. I was a public school teacher, and I was like, can I swear?
Yeah, go right ahead. This is some real shit.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know like where we're putting this. But I was like, I fucking can't do this anymore. And I taught for 11 years. And I think after like 3 years, I was like, I hate this. I hate everything about it. I hate no, I don't hate everything about it. I love the kids. I love like inspiring and connecting and being creative and like never following the rules like, for anything. And I just got like super burnt out because I couldn't manage doing all of the things that the job required me to do and be as creative and emotional and connective. And I was more of like a motivator than I was a teacher. And I had enough. Like I couldn't feasibly do both and do them well. Like I could have shown up, taught the curriculum, opened the book, taught the book, collected it, graded it, given it back. I could have been the robot that the system requires you to be, but I was like, no, in my soul, there's something compelling me to care much more than they're paying me to, or that is required of me to do. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I was in grad school, and I was like, all right, if I have to look at student data and like crunch numbers on like learning, I'm fucking lose my mind. So I was like, what can I do for my thesis? Because it's going to take up a good solid year and some change of my life. Like, what can I do that would bring me joy? And I was like, I just want to be outside and I want to work out, because this is not going to get me the opportunity to work out if I have to work on this like every day. So I was like, I'm going to start a wellness program. So I started a wellness program at school and recruited a bunch of teachers. And yeah, I got everything I needed. I kind of had no idea what I was doing. I like was in the process of getting my group fitness instruction. So I like had no idea. I was like, I work out a lot. I was a coach. I see what other people are doing. I was like, I'm literally just mimicking that. Like I didn't have my own like flair yet. I didn't really know too much about programming and stuff.
Did you just like wake up one day? How did you come to that decision that,
no, seriously.
All right.
Yeah, I literally was
just woke up one day and was just like,
what do I want to do? Well, I had a conversation with myself. Like I sat in my classroom and like I could feel like the concrete walls just like closing in. Like I was having an all-time anxiety attack and I was like, I can't do this like anymore. And I was like, what do I want to do every day? And I was like, I want to be outside. Like the sun is shining and I'm like in a legitimate like concrete prison. And I was like, I can't go outside. I can't move. Like I want to work out. I want to like be physical. I want to listen to music and I want to dance. I want to be with my dog. And I want to be around people who want to be around me. Like I felt like I was tap dancing for a bunch of teenagers who, like, let's be honest, didn't give one fuck about Jane Eyre or Shakespeare. I don't give one fuck about Jane Eyre or Shakespeare, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I was just like, I want to be around people who are gravitating towards my energy and who want to be here, not because the government tells them that they have to show up here, you know? So yeah, I had like, that anxiety attack had a lot of internal conversations, I think, for me.
Okay, and then you decided like, yo, boom. So what was the first thing that you did once...
So when the wellness program was over and people were like, well, we're still going to work out, right? And I was like, you're gonna pay me, right? I was like, can I make money off of this? And they were like, yeah, we'll pay you. And I was like, no shit. I was like, cool.
Mind blown.
Yeah, I was like, no shit. So now I'm a group fitness instructor.
Boom.
Cool.
And how long have you been doing this group fitness instruction?
When did I graduate? 12. Was it 2011, 2012? So what is it now?
2018.
Yeah. So
we're in 2018
yeah,
now.
do the math.
All right. So I have a question for you.
Uh-oh.
You know, for like, how about all right. So we talked off camera and off this podcast about like real shit. Like, you know,
that should have been on the podcast.
Yeah, that should have been on the podcast. Like,
I cried a little bit.
Yeah,
okay.
You know, but further, we're gonna discuss this probably as we continue to build this relationship with you and us as well. But we were talking about the turning point and when we decided to quit our jobs and go full steam ahead. Now, I know that there are going to be people who are in your position that you used to be in, right? It's like, all right.
Who feel confined, who feel trapped, who are suffocating in a job, and they're like, I will rot
9 to 5, and they don't know how to do it. And we still know group fitness instructors and personal trainers that actually still work a 9 to 5 and looking to get out and just continue to build their business so that they can make it a full-time, you know, full-time income.
And there's a couple things I want to say about that.
So we'll discuss that. But that person that's driving in their car to work,
listening to this
podcast, or watching it on YouTube, like, what's the advice that you would give them about to head into this journey? Like, you're talking to yourself 5 years ago.
All right, so get clear with what it is that you want. Like, what do you value in your life? What inspires you? What motivates you? And I think it's not necessarily the job that you want to do, but it's the things that you want to do and the way that you want to live out your values every day. So if you can find something that gets you to live out your values and live out what brings you joy, that's what we're searching for. Like, I think it's about using your skills rather than finding a job and then fitting yourself into the job. Because maybe you create the job that doesn't exist to be able to use the skills and access your values.
Yeah, because we do a lot of odd jobs.
Like, like I'm a party motivator and like Like I work at parties and like dance and like get on the mic and stuff. It's ridiculous, you know.
I'm a videographer, photographer.
Walk dogs.
I'm building websites. I'm doing all these things, and I'm like, all right, just so that I can have that time and location freedom. Because that's what we're chasing, right? Yeah. We want to have the time and location freedom so that we can experience more. Mm-hmm. Life is just like a collection of experiences, and that experience forms your identity, right? And that identity equals your life. So if you're looking for more, right? Yeah. Seek out what experiences that you're after, because those experiences was going to form your new identity. So if it's like you want to rock on stage and like
because I think sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, because I think like when people are like, oh, I want to be a group fitness instructor,
it's like, why?
Yeah, why? Like, I said that because I didn't know, like, I was kind of transitioning and moving out of one thing to the next. Mm-hmm. And now that I'm in it and I'm full-time as a group fitness instructor, no shade, and I love what I do, but a full-time fitness instructor isn't for me. Yeah. It's not giving me the opportunities to chase my values. It's not giving me the opportunity to live out my values.
That's some real shit.
So, like, I'm not saying I don't want to do what I'm doing, but it's the way in which I'm doing it isn't working for me. So, like, bouncing around from studio to studio, teaching this class, I'm good. Yeah. Like, I'm trying to transition out of that. And I think if I had been a little bit more clear with myself, but you don't know what you don't know. Like, it took me experiencing full-time fitness instruction to be like, oh, I'm not an instructor, I'm a motivator.
Exactly. Like, that's the thing. Yeah. You need to take action on what it is you think you want, because...
How would you know?
Yeah, you want to be in the field. In the field is where you learn yourself. You learn about yourself, taking the action. Like, when you do shit and you're like, yo, and then you're in it and then you go through the hardships and the frustrations and the anger, that's when you realize, like, yo, I really don't want to do this shit.
Yeah, it's like dating
you know what I mean?
job. Like
But yeah, exactly. But if through the bullshit and through the anger and the frustration, you're like, yo, I love this shit. I live for this shit. Then you know that you found your thing. Like my thing is creating and producing content that inspires you to take action in your dreams, because that's exactly what I'm doing. And I love the way that it makes me feel. Like I'm constantly chasing that different level of awareness. And when you're on that journey, that's what you're doing. You're going in that, you're taking the process and steps into realization. Like, yo, the saying that I mentioned to her was, nobody knows how to achieve their goal until they achieve it.
Yeah.
Right? And I have like these big, lengthy, goals, but I'm chasing the person that I become in pursuit of those goals, as opposed to the goals itself. Like the goals that I want is like physical and, but those physical goals is basically the experience in doing them, like traveling different places. Getting my car. I just showed her like this dream dream car that I want.
She's gonna pick me up.
It's the Audi RS7, but I don't want to deal with the freaking skyrocketing bills and insurance of that shit. I just want the experience of driving that car.
So however you're gonna make it
so however I'm gonna make it happen. If I gotta go rent that shit on Turo just to get my rocks off.
I don't even know what that is, but that's cool.
It's a new app where you can rent cars.
Yeah, clearly I'm balling at that status.
Yeah, exactly. So
just kidding.
I'll have me like a budget for going to experience that stuff, hiking up these awesome trails and shooting videos in like different countries with like the landmarks behind you, and then just learning the lessons that it took you to get to that location, and experiencing different cultures, and having that time freedom to share different life experiences with my son too, like getting
the freedom to be able to do that.
I know, to do that, like going to hang out with him, taking him around the park, now taking him around the world, man. I didn't even like step foot out of New York City. I was like stuck.
Yeah, but that's pretty dope though. It's not like you're in New York City.
I'm
you're
in New York
like
City.
The hub of all things culture.
Exactly.
Cool. But still, I understand that.
Yeah, but it's like experiencing more, right? Yeah. And I challenge you, right?
Me or the listener?
You and I've challenged everyone that's listening or watching. Like, take one action towards your goal every single day. Every single day. Like, have your dream. Like, an action as simple as writing in your journal what it is that you want. Be as graphic and raw as you want, because you're the only one that's going to be watching or reading it, unless it falls into the wrong hands. Then, whatever.
Just don't put your name on it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, just don't put your name on it or any personal details of anybody.
Yeah.
And or whether it's exercising, working out, like taking care of your physiological needs first, like getting your workouts in first, filling your cup up first.
Put your life mask, right? Your life mask falls. Put your life mask on first.
Yeah, exactly.
I struggle with that. I really do. That's a hard thing for me.
Yeah.
As a people pleaser, and I think it's something as women we struggle with. Like, be a good girl, be helpful. Like, don't piss anybody off. Like, there's a different dynamic in which we operate in the world, and oftentimes it's very self-sacrificing. It's shitty. I don't like it. I don't like that. I'm a mother, so therefore I can't. Like, I don't know, I'm not a mom, so I can't operate like that. I can't understand that struggle. But even, I can't do this because of XYZ. Like, you can't take care of yourself because why? People need you. I was like, that's some kind of fallacy. That's a fallacy to fill an insecurity. Like, nobody really needs you. And if they do need you, they need you at your best.
Your best.
Not like some half-assed, phoning it in shadow of yourself, like,
because they could pick up on that
totally. And I mean, I'm guilty of it too. We just had this conversation. Like, I show up sometimes and I am not whole. I feel depleted. I feel broken. I'm ruminating in my head with a lot of negative self-talk, and I'm literally like that Katy Perry documentary when she's like crying hysterical in the fetal position over her like breakup with Russell Brand, and she's like and then her mic is in her hand and they elevate like her out of the floor, and she's just like, she turns on her smile, and she just pretends.
Yeah.
I feel like I do that a lot, you know.
And that's exactly why I'm creating this podcast, because I want to be raw and real, because
talk about that.
On social media, there's like all these like,
you're killing it.
Yeah, crushing it, crush this, crush that, but they don't give you the behind the scenes raw. You're going to hear like sirens in the background or like weird chair squeaking because I'm taking this studio.
Hey, my chair's a little squeaky.
Yeah,
It's all right.
I'm taking this studio everywhere, and I want to share, you know, the real, honest, raw. Yeah. And you're going to also get, you know, like the real, honest, raw, so that you can come to an informed decision, right, based on our conclusions. You're going to come up with your own conclusion, but
even just to feel supported, man.
Yeah, like we're in the trenches, like we're like in our elbows in the mud, crawling to our dreams. Like,
yeah, but I'd rather be in this position. I'd rather keep evolving, crawling, and figuring it out than feel stuck.
Yeah, you evolve or you die,
or de-evolve or whatever.
What was that saying I said again? Oh wait, you either create or you disintegrate.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
and like you can consume content. Like look at us right now. We're just chilling, right? We could easily sit on the couch and watch Golden Girls, right?
Which I did yesterday all day.
Right,
and
all day.
Am I ashamed of that? Nah. No. I made a choice based on my emotional state, and I was just like feeling really low. And I couldn't. No, that's not true. I could. I chose not to. Mm-hmm. I chose to stay in that like spiral for myself. I chose to believe the narrative. I chose to not show up for myself, not show up for my goals, not show up for my business. Mm-hmm. I chose that.
Yo, this is some real shit. And basically, what we're giving you right now is like a $50,000 lesson right now.
Oh yeah, okay? That's the money that I've spent. $50,000
lesson. Now,
out of my own savings.
It even goes a little bit deeper than that too, because I was having this conversation with another client of mine, basically, because like they spent about $200,000 on an education, and then in pursuit of that education, goalless, right? Just like decided like I'm going to get a job at the end of this $200,000 investment. Mm-hmm. They did about $200,000 damage to their body, gaining 30, 40, 50 pounds of weight in pursuit of that piece of paper certificate, in pursuit or in promise of, you know, this income that's not guaranteed, right? They have faith in the system as opposed to having faith in themselves. And then they're going to probably spend like another $250,000, right, in trying to rehabilitate themselves mentally and physically, right? Like whether it's physical therapy office, whether it's the doctor's office, diabetics, physical therapy, all of it, whatever else, right? You're just going to be spending that money eventually. So why not, you know, pursue your goals so that you're getting these lessons in the journey? Like you got to take note that your path to success, like being on the path, is the blessing itself. Yeah. Like you do not have the like how would I want to phrase it? You do not have the goal. The goal is not yours, right? It has no right to be yours, but you have the right to pursue it, right? And the lessons that you learn in pursuit of it, that's where, you know, you get your value. That's where you become that person that earns that income, that earns that freedom.
Because the goal changes.
It changes.
The goal changes. Like I've been in pursuit of many things, and while in pursuit, I'm like, ooh, this makes me feel a little yucky. Like, like I don't like what I'm chasing and in the way that in which I'm doing it. So you know what? Let me sit down and let me have that conversation again. Like, is this what I want to do? Is that what the goal is? I was like, no. Here's actually how I want to make it happen. So I always like talk about the pivot. My friend Lena talks about the pivot all the time. Like there's never really like a derailing of closing the door. Everything is always just a pivot and a directional change, you know, like ebbs and flows of the tide. Yeah. You know, the tide doesn't just stop and like literally go, you know, in a different direction. It's just a pivot and moves. You flow with it.
Yo, man. And like, to be honest with you, like I'm a natural introvert.
Same.
Right? And when you're stepping into a seller's, like you could attest to this, like you do not come into group fitness or personal training to be a salesperson, right?
No.
But you do not
the worst
want
part of it.
the worst part. We hate selling, but that's the part that you have to fall in love with, because you got to believe in your product so much that it can make a difference.
Well, I think there's a difference. I think there's a difference when you're like putting up your like mind body account and you're like, look, 4 spots left.
4 spots left.
And you're hustling. Like, you literally are a salesperson, because let's be real, y'all. Everyone's getting kickbacks for a full class.
Yeah.
Okay? So there's incentive. It's not like, oh, I want you to come because I believe in it. I need you to come because mama needs to get paid. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let's be clear with that. When we have a full class, like, there's incentives. It's an incentive as an instructor, because the studio makes more money and they're kind of using you as like marketing.
Yeah.
Like, we'll pay you more if you get a full class. So now, like, your reach as a studio now spans the thousands of people who follow your instructors. Like, it's kind of a dope model.
Yeah.
That's why you don't see me doing it. No, I'm just kidding. Like, but yeah, so I think there's a difference when you are a salesperson versus where you're like literally putting out something to get your tribe on board, like with no monetary value.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to be part of the movement with me. I want you to like be part of this journey. Like, those two things are different. Like, I'll like to share something with just for the sake of sharing it. Like, I'm showing up and I'm sharing this with no intention behind it other than like, fucking take a look.
Yeah, all like, up. And right now, I'm not getting paid for anything. Like, I'm not getting paid to put these up, but I just finished a 90-day challenge. Yeah. And the goal for the first 90-day challenge that I did on YouTube was to build my online fitness business, because I wanted to get my time freedom and location freedom on point and just make enough money so that I can live that way. But then slowly, I started to realize, like, yo, it's even deeper than that. I'm becoming a whole nother different person, because I mentioned I'm naturally an introvert, but now I'm more outgoing. Like, I'm doing more things, right? Producing more. Like, my level of production has skyrocketed because I'm doing video editing. I'm building websites. I'm doing consultation, mentoring. And then I realized, like, yo, there are more people like this that need this sort of guidance, right? They need the workshops, the mentors, the seminars. And right now I'm about to hop on a mastermind call in about 15 minutes. That sounds awesome. Yeah, it's like basically individuals who are in pursuit of the same goal. Cool. Right? And we're just going to be using this group to network, to problem solve, to communicate our struggles and frustrations, and give guidance to each other so that we can hold each other accountable to take actions on our dreams. And you don't need just one mastermind. You can have multiple masterminds for relationships, for business, for your finance, like for your health, right? And it's just basically an accountability group to keep you moving forward and striving forward, right? So
no, I dig that. I think that's necessary. That's something else. Like, when you're thinking about making your move and you're like, I know I don't want to be in this anymore. Like, finding people to talk to and connect to as many people as you possibly can of what you think you might want to do.
Yo, that's key.
Ask to shadow people. Like, hey, can I spend the day with you? And like, honestly, like, submerge yourself as much as you can. Like, when I was a teacher and I would have student teachers, no, you pee when I pee. You correct when I correct. You do all the things that I'm doing throughout the day, because I want you to get the real experience. Like, if I'm not checking my phone, you're not checking your phone. If I have to hold it, you're holding it. And if you're not a teacher, you don't understand the struggle of like you cannot pee or go to the bathroom or eat when you need to do those things. Like, your bodily functions are on a fucking time clock. So I feel like, if you're really interested in whatever move you're trying to make, like, link up with someone and be like, I want to spend the day with you. I want to see like real talk, like, and I'll just be a fly on the wall.
Yo, that's real.
You know, and just kind of look at what your day would be like. Look what your life would be like.
And right now, we're still in the beginning stages of our journey as well. And we just mentioned a bunch of cool projects that we want to
come May.
Yeah.
Start in May.
yo,
once the weather gets nice.
Yeah, like yo, we want to do so. Yeah, we'll stick to indoors. Like we'll be doing some awesome shit indoors.
I'll be training, doing all the planning, and then when it's like 65 and sunny, we'll be outside.
I would say late March, April. That's when spring.
I'm saying phone, like let alone like whatever jam you're doing.
All right, so the so the time card limited. We just went over 30 minutes. So like. This is what I found out recently. So, like, these cameras, so in order for them not to be taxed, the manufacturers not to be taxed, like, the digital camera has to only have a 30 minute limit.
What kind of bullshit is that?
I know, right? As opposed
Did Trump do
to...
that?
Right, as opposed to like the camcorder, right?
Yeah.
So they
like
tax
the dad one, like we all used to have.
Yeah, exactly. All so we have 30 minutes. Anyway, so you wanted to discuss?
No, I feel like that's an important question. Like if people are really listening to this, and I talked about like getting your values, like finding a network of people of just what do I think I want to do? Because I think you'll learn more about what you want to do by figuring out what you don't want to do.
Ooh.
Like I know that I don't want to get up at 5 a.m. anymore. That's real talk. Like, I don't want to do that. I want to be able to get up and ease into my day, work out, live the kind of life that I want. I want to teach one class where it's like fucking epicness. And it's like all my energy is just reserved for this one thing that I have to do. Because it takes a lot as someone who's naturally introverted to like show up and give the amount of intensity and motivation and love that I give. There's a lot that's required for it, you know? So doing it 5-6 times a day, it's fucking draining. Yeah, so I think you'll figure out what you don't want to do, or figure out what you do want to do by figuring out what you don't like.
Nah, that's real.
You know?
All right, folks. So, this is the very first podcast, and I'm looking to do this as much as possible. I haven't figured out, like I said, it's very spontaneous. Haven't figured out exactly the format, or if I'm going to do weekly, bi-weekly, whatever, let's let it be. We're just gonna just do it and see how this takes off. So right now I'm going to hop on this mastermind call with my group.
I'm gonna eat.
She's gonna eat, and I'll keep you guys posted in the next
video.
vid.
This is fun. I love talking.
Yeah, right?
I love sharing.
Exactly.
I got a lot to say. So all right, see you soon,
all right, wait,
guys.
So before we go, where can they find you?
Follow me online on Instagram at Sweat Remix, and you can go to sweatremix.com and you can find my schedule. Or shoot me an email at holler, HOLLER, like holler, at sweatremix.com. And connect. Just connect.
Yeah, and you can find me at theseasonlife.com. Yep. Go to the contact section and shoot me a message, and I'll respond accordingly. Anyway, thank you for listening and watching. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace.
Bye.